Says an error occurred. I think you might be live on YouTube, Sileo. YouTube looks like it's up, but I don't think X or any of the other ones are.
No. Actually, Xander, it says on my X, we're live.
All right, so we're live, Big Sills.
So it says we are live. So I'm going to assume we are live. Look at 8. Like I told you guys, man, don't ever in a million years, ever hold us down here. This is absolutely great. All right, guys, I can't thank you guys enough for coming aboard here, man. Hey, cold. Not even, I don't know if this was a cyber attack or not. I have no idea. And here we are. Awesome. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. By the way, I don't even know if we're on like YouTube or not right now. I have no idea. Okay? I have no idea if we are here. Bob Lang attacks JAKIB again. All right, here, man. I appreciate everybody coming aboard. I don't even see a number. I have no idea. So what we're going to do here, live and in living color. Very good. All right. I have no idea how many folks are watching the program. Let me take a look over at X here and see what we got going on here. All right. Yeah, we're live. Actually, I can't. It's kind of stopped now on X here a little bit. I think it's buffering. Who cares? All right, guys. YouTube is up. That's all we need. All right. It's funny. I was going to start my program out by saying this today. You ready? So from June 12th until July 21st, this is what we call Big Sills country. This is Big Sills time. From today, June 12th until July 21. Why is it Big Sills country? Because it's Big Sills time to shine. This is the time here where I get to throw my topics out. Oh, by the way, let me go over here. That's right, Brad. Here we go, bad puppy. Here we go over here. Hang on here. I got to go over and I got to get to Chris Simms' list. This is one of the greatest lists of all time. Here we are right here. Look at this. The official Chris Simms list is out. And here are the top 10 quarterbacks in pro football. Here we go here. Look at this. I didn't make this up. Number 10. There he is. Malibu Hurts. Sitting at number 10. Dropped down from 9 a year ago. Baker Mayfield at number 9. Justin Herbert at number 8. CJ Stroud at number 7. Matthew Stafford at number 6. Jaden Daniels at number 5. Patrick Mahomes, number 4. Joe Burrow, number 3. Josh Allen, number 2. Lamar Jackson, number 1. There is your official list of the top quarterbacks in pro football through Chris Simms' eyes. How good is the list? Let me see here. How good would I say that list is? I'd put Allen number 1. I'd put Mahomes, I put Mahomes number here. I would do this. Mahomes number 1. By the way, guys, do me a favor. Please hit the super chats. Guys were awesome. We were going back and forth on the chat box, and while we were waiting here, and I can't thank you. JAKIB is king. They can't stop us. Absolutely. Hey, guys, I got to do me a favor, guys. Okay? Twiz, absolutely great. Guys, do me a favor. Okay? Do me a favor. super chats are needed today. You know, we're not IP. So we lost about an hour and a half. And I guess, hey, maybe Crossing Broad is right. Am I begging? Yeah, here I am. Okay? So let's get some supers in here by the end of the program. We're going to take you all the way up until 6 o'clock Eastern. Xander's going to join me at the top of the hour. So if I had to put my list, thank you, Twiz. Hey, man, I'll tell you what, we had a lot of fun. You know what? And what's cool is that when I was talking to you guys reminded me of back home. All my friends back home just talking shit to each other. Nobody gets their panties in a bind. That shit's good. Flexing. Okay, Flexing. You get a free shot at me. Hey, Flexing, great. Thank you. You get a free shot. Everyone, hey, supers, you guys get free shots. Look at this. Flexing again. Okay? Okay? Thank you very much. Absolutely awesome. Thank you again. Thank you again. Flexing, killing it. There we go. Hey, so my list off that Chris Sims thing. All supers, guys. We need them today big time. So let's see here. I'd put Allen 1. No, Mahomes 1. I'd put Allen 2. Let's see what else. I would put Allen. I'd put Burrow 3. I'd put Lamar 4. I put Malibu Hurts 5. I would put Stafford 6. I would put Mayfield 7. CJ 8. Herbert 9. And Daniel. Daniel's, here's my takeaway. And now James Jones is in here. Listen, guys, I love the kid. I think the kid's got a chance to be a superstar. But he's got to show me 2 years in a row. I just can't go off of 1 year. I just can't. This is the real barbershop talk. No holes, Jacob. You guys are great. Thank you for the super chats, man. Totally need them today. Sills just got done laying the smackdown on Google CEO. As I left, I had to say to him, how you doing? So this is happening again. Hey, Martin. That's awesome, man. Hey, you had it. That's a famous dude. You're part of the family, Martin, when you're dropping it. How you doing? Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Mikey's giving $10 for Stevie. Stevie. How you doing? All right. Stevie just got $10. How you doing? Hit that like button, guys. Hey, you guys, I'm telling you, man. Let me take a look at that over here. How you guys did on the likes. You guys did a killer job on the likes too, man. That's great. Guys, man, you held it in there. You had it over 50. And you guys are killing it. Absolutely awesome. Oh, so like I said, okay, this is our time where we can sit around and throw our topics out. Hit the like button. All right. I want to ask you guys a question. Let's get to our topics. A little behind. So we got a lot to kind of jam in here, okay? Hey, and by the way, I pushed our guest. Xander's going to join us, though, at the top of the hour. So I pushed our guest till tomorrow, okay? CJ. Everybody gets a golfer's clap. Hey, by the way, this is a clap you don't have to take Jexter Cycling to. How you doing? Hey. All right. All right, how you doing? All right. So the roster you have right now. Hey, bud. You guys are killing it again. Thank you. You showed us a lot this week. True Warrior. Dude. Thank you. Remember all the shit talking we do. It's in fun. Hey, I promise you, most people can't take it. They get bent out of shape. Guys are killing it already, man. Thank you. Hey, big push to 6 o'clock Eastern. Thank you, guys. All of that is thank you. Keeps the show going, keeps us going. Okay? How about this? Kim, I'm getting better, man. No way. I'm getting better. Okay? I'm getting totally better. Look at this shit, man. Dude, thank you so much. Jeff, awesome. Abe, for Sills versus J-Mac showdown. Thank you. This is good, man. Super chats are needed today. Okay, let me ask you, as you guys are doing this, and I can't, you know what? I'm humbled. I hung here, man. I waited. I was not going anywhere till the last second, which was 6. No way. Okay? I was not going to not be here. You guys are here every day. Look at Twiz. Twiz gives me more shit than anybody on here, I think. That's awesome of you, dude. Okay, wait. Enough with the sappy shit. So, get back to work. All right. Hang on here. Bob Lang and the Canadians tried to shut us down. Not happening. How you doing? All right. Dude, this is great. Way to go. Shit. All good, man. Hey, Twiz. Dude, stop being a wussy, man. Get back to work here. Yeah, my kids on. I can't swear like that. Go to work. Look at James Jones. All right, let me ask you guys. So this 2025 roster, right now, you think this roster has a shot to be better than 22 and 24? Now, I'm going to ask you to try to do something difficult. You know what that is? I'm going to try to ask you to think how you felt last offseason, getting ready for the 24 year. Did you think that was a Super Bowl team? Nobody did. Nobody thought that was better. So wait a minute. Prince, you had two corners that were Pro Bowlers. You don't really think this roster's better than that 22 roster where you had 70 sacks. That 2022 roster, you're saying you think you're better now. At what position? Where? Linebacker? I don't know. You don't know what you're going to have September. Most of your linebackers that you have are injured. I mean, does this look like one of those Super Bowl rosters? Thank you, Matt D. Awesome. Thank you. Okay? You tell me. I don't know yet. I would say this. This is probably more truthful right here. Okay? Young guys have to prove it. Look at how they appeared under Vic for 1 year. 2 years under the scheme will be better for the defense. Yeah, but dude, Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson. That is not Darius Slay in a first-round pick. Mad D, thank you. Topics since when does bullshit artists need topics? Okay. I'm not sure what that means. I'm sure it's a slap, but it's all good. Thank you, Mad D. Phil Simms is a poser, or Chris Sims is a poser. I would say this to you. Here, let's take a look at it. Are you better in the D line? No. Than you were in 22. You had Javon Hargrave. You had Fletcher Cox. You had Brandon Graham. And you had Josh Sweat. How in the world do you think you're better than that group? With this group? You don't even know who's playing end. Moro Jomo is better than Brandon Graham? By the way, for the record, you do not have the best D line in the NFC East. That's in New York. Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and Dexter Lawrence. That's the best D-line in the NFC East. It's not close. I mean, you don't even know who your ends are. You have no idea who one of your edge rushers is yet. They've got a multitude of them. Now, I'm not saying they're a better unit than you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that they have a better D-line. What does that have to do with a better unit? Nothing. And by the way, once again, M. Reyes, that fucking 24 team is gone. Gone. You don't have the same unit. Brandon Graham's gone. Josh Sweat's gone. Milton Williams is gone. And no, you don't have replacements for them. You have bodies for them. Okay. You're right. Name me one player on your ends that is better than Brian Burns. You don't have one. Name me a better pass rusher than even Thibodeau. Okay, you say Nolan Smith? Well, they've got also Abdul Carter they took. Where in the world do you think? And Dexter Lawrence is better than Jalen Carter. Carter's a great player. Dog, you're right. Until proven otherwise. So look, this is what this guy says. If you change out the entire group, or you change your unit out, you're still the king until someone says you're not. Even if you have different faces. It's not how it works. That's why very few teams in the NFL have ever repeated. That is so not true. Okay? Eagles defense is going to be trash, dead last in the NFC East this year. Watch and see. I don't think that. Texas, I'll tell you one more time. I mean, if the Dallas Cowboys cannot stop the run, you are not going to win ball games this year. You are not. Our edge rushing room is Cool Runnings. Dude, I don't really think much of your edge rushers. Outside of Jalen Hunt and Nolan Smith, you don't have anybody. And everybody that tells me those guys, until proven otherwise, that's right, I'm going to take an M. Reyes line. Until proven otherwise, those guys are cast-offs of other teams. Until proven otherwise. So, M. Reyes, I'm going to use a line from you. Until proven otherwise, they're bums. Okay? Every year, a team is different. Merrill Reese tells you that. Merrill Reese tells you all the time it's a different unit. It's an entirely different football team. Yeah. Completely different. So when you say that, I mean, you always got to love M. Reyes because you know what M. Reyes will tell you? He thinks they got the same freaking football team. They don't. It's not true. Fake news. How you doing? Fake news. Different team. Every team that I have covered since I've covered the Philadelphia Eagles has been completely different. Every one of them. Oh, by the way, I want to do this. I want to give some love out before we continue. My uncle, Bob Robustelli wrote this book on Andy. And I got to throw this out there. Very cool. The guy Robustelli, the Pope of the National Football League. I'm going to get Xander a copy here. And Bob wrote me a great letter here. And I'm proud to be part of their family. By the way, I want to show you this, man. This is really cool. Here's a family picture of Jackie. Here's a family picture of Jackie and Robustelli. There's a picture of Robustelli with Mickey Mantle. There's when Andy was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's pretty cool, man. Family pictures. There's the great D-line that we had. Robustelli, MVP. He won the Burt Bell Award, too. Pretty cool. you got a family member who was an NFL most valuable player. And that's the guy behind me there, Robustelli, the Pope of the National Football League. How you doing? Too bad the Giants don't look anything like that franchise today. They don't even resemble that franchise. Okay. Thanks, M. Reyes. Pretty cool, dude, isn't it? Yeah, JAKIB Robinson lived in Stamford, Connecticut. I told you, well, me and Gary Cobb, who were from Stamford, Jackie, when we were young kids, he would come by. I used to go to a school, St. John's, and also KT Murphy. And he would come by and he would do a lot of youth programs. There's a JAKIB Robinson youth program when I was a little tiny kid in Stamford. And Jackie would come by and he used to go to the middle schools, and I met JAKIB Robinson numerous times when I was a little tiny kid. And you'd see him up at the Italian Center too. So when I was a young kid, being around JAKIB Robinson was absolutely awesome. Rachel's still a friend of mine to this day. I learned how to play sports on the JAKIB Robinson sports fields in Stamford, Connecticut. So it was pretty dope being around him. Okay. I mean, yeah, I got one of the coolest things on the planet is that you could be over at Robustelli's house and there's JAKIB Robinson sitting in the living room. It's crazy great. Coop, Reed, Bond believe this defense could be great again. Okay. They all said another year in Vic's defense will make a big difference. Nobody's saying that those three players are not going to be great. But it's a different unit, dude. It's a completely different unit. I mean, I don't care how you look at it. That was an absolutely great defensive football team a year ago because of what? Because of the versatility you had. So, again, I mean, and here, let's do this. So, my opinion is that defense and that football team, do you guys have a roster that looks anything remotely close to 2022 and 2024? I'm not going to lie to this. So I'm going to tell you, I don't think you're anywhere near the 2022. However, I think you're closer to the question marks of 24. Okay? I had questions at edge. I had questions at linebacker. Nakobe Dean stunk. Nolan Smith stunk. Okay? Those were guys who were in the system a year. You don't have players like that. Like you guys just got through saying. You had guys in the system, another year in the system. Well, you don't have. Uche has not been in this system. Aziz has not been in this system. The rookies that you drafted have not been in this system. Those guys we all had question marks on, all were in a system for the year. They all had an understanding of what zone defense and what that defense was going to be. These are all new faces, especially in key points. And by the way, this stupid Keely Ringo talk. Dog, he couldn't get on the field last year. Why now is he great? Why is he great now? What has changed that he's so great? What has changed? You're not going to get the play you got out of Isaiah Rodgers and Slay. You are not. You think let me ask you this. Do you guys think, okay? Do you guys think that you're going to get the same production this year? Let me see what you think. Are you going to get the same production of a year ago when you had Slay and Rodgers with Ringo and Adoree Jackson? Do you believe that? How many people believe that? You're going to get the same level of play that you got on that side of the ball at cornerback 1. How many people believe that? Let me see what you say. And I'll know to move on to another topic. Okay? Tell me, do you believe you're going to get the same production that you got a year ago? Okay? With Slay and Isaiah Rodgers. That you're going to get with a guy who was cut and a guy who couldn't step on the field last year. Do you believe that? Look at this. Again, it's time to move on to a different topic. Get this. Steve believes he's going to get the same production. That's asinine. It's time to move on to a different topic. It's just totally time. And Yale goes, he's 22. That's the point. It's on-the-job training, isn't it, Yale? Do you really think that Kelee Ringo has the same skill set that Quinyon Mitchell has? He's the same age. You don't think Vic would have spotted that? Thanks for the supers. Guys, appreciate the supers. When I see Ringo, I see bum Eli Apple. Let me ask you this. Again, why didn't Vic last year? Are they the same age? Let me see here. Quinyon Mitchell. How old is he? How old is Quinyon Mitchell? Let's see how old he is. Quinyon Mitchell. Q Mitchell. How old is he? How old is this guy? He's 23. So this guy's old. He's 23. How old is Kelee Ringo? Today we're not better, but in 6 to 8 weeks, who knows? That could be very true. Okay, so let's see here. Kelee Ringo. Been on the team 3 years. Okay, let me see here. Here's Ringo. Kelee Ringo. So June 27th, he'll be 23 years old. He's the same freaking age as Quinyon Mitchell. And you're trying to tell me Vic can't see the same talent level in Kelee Ringo a year ago. And you're trying to tell me he wouldn't have found a spot for that kid if he had the same skill set. Ringo's 23, June 27th. Are you really trying to tell me that? That he has the same talent as Q. And Q went to Toledo. That's fucking crazy. I'm awake, or you? Why didn't he see the field a year ago? Answer. Why didn't he see the field? He couldn't beat out Isaiah Rodgers. He couldn't beat out Isaiah Rodgers. You can't beat out Isaiah Rodgers. How are you going to be a top-flight corner? Isaiah's a role player. That's the point. Q stepped on the field. Vic saw the talent and knew immediately that kid, he didn't even need to see him starting. He knew he was going to play. You guys are nuts with this Kelee Ringo bullshit. Honestly, if you think that kid and Vic didn't do his job a year ago. Then Vic didn't do his job and he had the number one defense in the NFL. So you're telling me, what, was he holding him back? Is that what you're saying? Hey, wait, I'm waiting for 2025 to play him because, this year he's not good enough, but next year, even though they're the same age as Quinyon Mitchell, how stupid can you be? You can't be any dumber. Vic didn't need to see that kid play, and he knew he had skill set. Isaiah Rodgers Kelee couldn't beat out Isaiah Rodgers. And you're trying to tell me that kid's the same skill as Quinyon Mitchell. How dumb can you be? That's right. Next guy up. Financially, that's true. Kelee Ringo's next guy up because they don't want to spend money. And they didn't want to pay Slay $10 million. You're damn right he's next guy up. Darius Slay not being on that team is a financial reason. Nothing more. Maybe banged up, but you got rid of both of them? Think of this. The two dudes you got rid of were signed for $18 million, almost $20 million between those two. You signed a guy for $1 million, and you got a third-round draft choice. Or is he a free? What round did he go, Kelee Ringo? What round did Kelee Ringo go in? Fourth round. So you got a fourth-rounder and a guy who's on a minimum contract, and you got rid of two guys with $20 million wrapped around their number now. How dumb is that? That's not even in the same conversation. How do you go there? How do you go from two players? One signed an $8 million deal and the other a $10 million deal. I was shocked Slay got $10 million. That's $18 million you had on your team. You didn't want to pay that. You didn't want to pay it. Kelee Ringo, if he plays, he's playing because he's cheap, not because he's the heir apparent to Slay. He's a gap corner. You know what that means? He's waiting for the next guy. They're going to give him every shot. They like the kid. He's got great being a great athlete. Are you a great corner? If that's the case, why don't you just go to a track and field team and go get a great fast athlete or gym? Again, ask yourself, BS, he's ready? Why wasn't he ready last year? He's the same age as Quinyon Mitchell. That guy's the same age. You're telling me Vic, how did Vic miss on that? Why would Vic have played him over him? Especially if they thought they weren't going to bring back Isaiah. Why? You're praying for something to come through. That's what you're hoping for. You're praying for it. So again, I mean, look, here's the other issue. I heard the guys this morning talking about the linebacker room. How do you feel about the linebacker room on June 12th? You guys aren't anywhere near those 22 and 24 rosters. How do you feel about the linebacking room? How do you feel about the linebacking room right now? That corner position to me is a problem. We'll see. How do you feel about your linebacker room? How do you feel about it? Sills, there wasn't much of a decline when Rodgers had to step in for Slay. Ringo wasn't up to speed. What do you mean he wasn't up to speed? What are you talking about? He was a healthy kid a year ago. You like it. What do you like about it? That Dean and Jahad Campbell are injured? And that right now, if you had to play a ball game, it's Trotter and Mundon, the kid from Georgia? How's that sound? So you're assuming those guys coming off of injuries are going to be ready to rock in the first 4 weeks of the season. One of your tougher parts of your schedule. September, you got a pretty good opening to your season. If I'm not mistaken, it's Cowboys, Chiefs, Rams, and I think Bucks. Right? You think you're going to need a full unit of healthy guys for those guys. You're playing Dak, Mahomes, Stafford, and Mayfield. You think you're going to need a healthy linebacking and secondary core? Those are tough teams. But by the way, some pretty good defensive-minded guys in the middle there. Todd Bowles is there. He's got your number. I think the Rams are coming up. Spagnuolo, you guys did a great job. There's going to be a revenge game. I don't know what to expect with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are walking backwards. So again, see what Yale says? I feel good today about the fact that you got two dudes injured that you're counting on that will be ready for the start of the season. Shit, there's a conversation that Campbell won't be ready until late August. And we'll see what Dean is. So you're counting on, right now, this is what I asked you about your roster. You're counting on Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson giving you more production or as good as Slay and Rogers, and you're counting on your guys being healthy for September, correct? Okay. So how are you better? Now, I'll be candid. I didn't know that Kaiser White would be that good. Kaiser White had 120 tackles in 22. He was a really good ball player. Had 122 tackles, and the other guy, TJ Edwards, had 160. You think there's any coincidence that the 2 years you went to the Super Bowl, you had exceptional linebacker play? Okay? Get this. Absolutely. So you're confident that Adoree Jackson, who was fucking cut, and Keely Ringo, who couldn't make the starting lineup or even the backup, is going to give you the same production as Slay and Rogers. That's wishful thinking. It's complete wishful thinking. Okay? Now, again, I'm not here going to tell you that you need to have. I think this about your edge rushers. My only concern about your edge rushers is not pass rushing. I could care less if they give you 11, 12, 13 sacks. I do not care. My question is going to be, can they set the edge? Can they play the run? Every single thing that you guys do defensively is predicated off run stoppers, not pass rushers. Don't you find that to be a little bit, you had 70 sacks one year. And the year you won the Super Bowl, you didn't have one double-digit guy. You didn't even have a guy with 9 sacks. I'm more worried at corner 2 than any other position on the defense. And the depth too, Kyle. Now, do I think that this unit, if the young guys and all that, if maybe some garbage cans turn into trash cans, sure. Okay? Yes. All that true. Okay, and you're looking at it from that end. That's fine, especially coming off a Super Bowl, and you should. But I'm gonna lean on what Vic says. Okay? We didn't find out how good that defense was until probably week 5. I think week 5 and 6 when they put Cooper in. All right? So look at Spit. Okay. If Q goes down, who's your depth at Q? At corner. Who's your depth? Who's your depth if Q goes down? Last year was Rodgers. Takes time. You're telling me it's better now than it was then. Eli Ricks. Seriously, did that guy play last year? Okay. If Bond misses any time, Who plays in for him? There's no Oren Burks yet. You don't know who there might be an Oren Burks on the team. Who plays for Burks? Campbell's not ready. You think your depth's fine. Keely, the champs Rango, first team All-Pro, baby. I know. Devin White, first team All-Pro, baby. 80% of you in here kept telling me that bullshit. Yeah, okay. Devin White. They didn't even bring his ass down to Brazil. Okay. All right. So again, do I think that this roster is as good as that Super Bowl rosters? No. I don't know. Now, what did I think of last year's team? I didn't think last year's defense was going to be great. I didn't. But you had dudes that were in the system a year. Now you don't. Got draft choices and garbage cans. We'll see. It's great to see in here that Eagle fans believe you have a better roster than the Super Bowl team that finished second in the NFL in defense and had the 8th best offense or whatever the offense was ranked in 22. Man, you talk about drinking the Kool-Aid. Unbelievable. All right, so let me ask you this. So let's go to another topic here. By the way, we'll talk to Xander here in a couple minutes. What's Kevin Patulo going to be? Thanks, Blaine. Guys, all supers go to the top, and we appreciate them today. I don't trust our depth both sides of the ball. I trust the depth on offense and the line a little more because of the coach. But outside of AJ and Devontae, what do you have? Jahan? Maybe. Maybe another year with Jahan and Jalen. Maybe that'll be better. Okay? Maybe. Let me ask you about Patulo. Thank you, Blaine. You think Kevin Patulo's going to be closer? Thank you, JT. Thank you, brother. You guys are awesome, man. You guys are great. You guys are killing it on the supers. I can't thank you enough. You know, we got an hour and a half show, and because of StreamYard, thank you, guys. What's Kevin Patulo going to be closer to? Brian Johnson or Kellen Moore? What guy do you think he's going to be closer to when it comes to play calling? What are you going to get from him? What are you going to get from him? Well, why do you think he's going to be more like Kellen Moore? He's not going to be anywhere near Shane Steichen. They ran RPOs. They're not putting a $50 million guy in an RPO system. No way. In between? What's that look like? What do you think you're going to get with Kevin Patulo? Thank you, Jim. I really appreciate that, man. You guys are just absolutely awesome. What's up, Big Sills? Didn't think we would see you today. Well, we waited the entire time. Big Z and I were waiting. So what are you going to get from Kevin Patulo, who's never called a play in his life except for his kid's flag football game? What are you going to get from him? Even Jalen Hurts said, wait a minute here. For us to determine whether or not he's going to be a good play caller, we got to see how the sequencing goes. So you experts in here, you tell me, what are we looking at? Is he going to be a pizzeria guy? Or is he going to be a guy who's going to be like, I saw somebody in here, Air Coryell. Hurts is throwing for 5,500 yards and 48 touchdowns. Is that where we're going? You know what I would do if I'm Kevin Patulo? Jalen, come here, man. Hold on for a second. Jalen. Let's hear it. Before I bring Xander up, I'm going to tell you something about Jalen Hurts' 2905. Nowhere in football history has anybody ever put up such lame numbers, okay, in a great offense like that. What does that tell you? That they didn't have to ask that guy to do shit. You know what John said today? Okay, he didn't have to be elite. He doesn't have to be elite week to week. John McMullen said that. That's how good you were. You were so good. Your quarterback doesn't have to be elite every week. There's nowhere in the NFL where a quarterback doesn't have to be elite every week. 31 other teams wish they were you. The less he throws, isn't it funny? The less amount of yards he threw for resulted in the best success. Do you think, or is that just coincidence? I'm not really ripping you. So you're trying to tell me if Jalen throws for 2,800 yards this year and the Eagles win the Super Bowl, what's the difference? That means teams in the league couldn't stop you running the ball still. He had his worst year as a week-to-week guy. Not worst year. I shouldn't say worst. Because that's not what I'm looking for. That's not fair. Sills, me and my grandpa thinks the Eagles quit in 22 on defense. You mean 23. That 22 defense was pretty good. Yeah, I don't think that 22 defense didn't quit. The 23 defense quit at the end of the year. Quit or shitty coaching. I don't know. You pick one. That's going to be interesting. What are you going to get with Kevin Patulo? Okay, what do you think you're going to get? So I'm going to ask Zan, I'm going to bring Big Z in here in a second here because I'm going to ask him. Okay, I'm going to ask Xander, what do you think? And will the 2025 Eagles have a better roster than either of the 22 or 24 Philadelphia Eagle rosters? Without further ado, I heard it this morning. Jalen Hurts doesn't have to be elite. I heard it from John McMullen's mouth. And I know I heard it on June 12th. I could have swore I heard it. He's got one job to do. Don't F it up. I like that. Without further ado, the man, the myth who kept hanging in there. Let's go. What is it, Crack Streams? Oh, no. It's StreamYard. Without further ado, I thought we were going to go on Crack Streams. Without further ado, our boy Big Z, Xander Krause. Way to hang in there, brother.
What's up, Big Sills?
Dude, what a day.
Yeah, what the heck, man? What the heck? I mean, the servers go down right when we're about to start the show. But listen, we're here. We made it. I just want to give a shout out to all the people, though, man, for showing love with the super chats today. Like you said, man, we're not WIP. We're not one of these big dogs.
Nope.
So those super chats go a long way. We lose a little bit of content. You know, we lose some life. We lose some blood that day. So we do appreciate all of you guys, man. Your guys' contributions are dope, and we appreciate it very much.
Hey, when we get a cut in the hand, we bleed to death.
Yeah,
when those guys get a cut, those guys just put a Band-Aid on it.
We can't afford too many cuts, so you're right.
That's right. What I'm saying. All right, Xander, let me start it out with you, man. Where do you see this roster land? Wait. You know what? I'm going to ask you a better question. In the off seasons of 2022, and try to remember 24, this roster here, what and where do you think this roster lands next to those two Super Bowl rosters? Do you think it's going to be better than 22? Do you think it has a chance to be anywhere near 24? What do you think right now on June 12th with this roster right now as you get closer to the training camps in July? What do you think where you are right now with this roster?
I think better than 22 and a little worse than 24, because I think 24 was just so good. It's going to be very hard to top that team. I mean, statistically and all the metrics. But I think they're going to be better than 22, Sills, because I think their foundation is better. Like 22, your defense had more talent, but the foundation is who? The coordinators and in my opinion, the foundation of Jalen Carter right now is as strong of a foundation as we've had. I mean, Fletcher was great at that point, but he was a year before retiring. And then you had obviously Jonathan Gannon, where I don't think you had quite the upside with that defense that you do here, and that's why when the going got tough for that team or in the Super Bowl, that defense cracked. I mean, it had great stats, but it was not nearly as firm as our defense was last year. So you lost some guys from last year, but I think the foundation is better defensively this year. You even heard Zach Bond, who was on the Exciting Mike's podcast with Reed Blankenship and Cooper DeJean. And, he said the defense feels like they're light years ahead of where they were at this time last year. So I think that's kind of I think they're in a good spot. And maybe talent-wise on paper, it doesn't look like it yet, but I think they have a higher upside than 22.
They had 4 guys with 10 sacks or more.
Yeah, but that wasn't that. What defense?
And they also were number 2 in Pat's defense.
So it was like the tale of two defenses, though. So it was like, which one would you rather have, 22 or 24? 22 had a boatload of stats.
I get those two. I'm talking about this group.
In the biggest moment.
I'm talking about this group. Where do you so you think it lands better than 22? That was a very talented roster that you had.
Maybe not statistically. 24 didn't beat 22.
Well, not only statistically, you won 14 games with that defense too.
Well, that's true. I mean, you remember Jalen and the offense have a big say in that as well. That was when Jalen Hurts was like second or third in the MVP voting.
Second, and get this, that defense finished number 2. I mean, that defense week to week was playing. The 24 defense, no question about it. The 22 defense, Xander, they were number 2 overall, dude. That they were really good. Plus, they had a high volume of sacks. The two corners made the Pro Bowl. You had 130, you had 300 tackles inside linebackers. I mean, your 2 tackles, Fletcher had 7 sacks, and the other guy had 11.5. Are you going to get 7.5 sacks from Jordan Davis this year?
Yeah, but that's because 22 is a bit like more of a stat-based defense. Like even last year, so if you look at
they won though too.
Like if I just if we just did like a spreadsheet, right, and I just showed you the numbers, and you didn't know anything about where the team ranked, and I showed you the stat sheet of 22 and the stat sheet of 24, you would have been like, this was a middle of the pack defense about 24. Your leading guy had 8.5 sacks. And this was one of the best defenses of all time. Every 5 dudes had 10 plus sacks. So it's really hard to gauge that because I don't think 24 or 25 is going to have stats like that. Not at all. But I think they have a big upside.
Okay. Now that may be, like I said, that may be. I'm going to ask you one last question. I kind of hit on this. Why are you so sold that Vic Fangio, for whatever reason, I didn't realize this, Quinyon Mitchell and Keely Ringo are the same age. These guys are the same age. So, he didn't need
Quinion's
to see.
Older.
He didn't even need to see any playing time at a cue to stardom. Why, in your opinion, do you think Ringo's all of a sudden just going to step in and he's going to all of a sudden just take up for Slay? And same thing with Isaiah Rodgers. I think we're frozen here with Xander here. Hopefully we can get him back here. I think that's going to be a pretty tough putt. Why do you think, Xander? I think you're back here with us. You here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Why are you more comfortable this year saying that Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson are going to give you, or do you not think that you're going to get the same production out of Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo that you did out of Isaiah Rodgers and Slay last year?
Well, I feel like Keely Ringo, again, is a high upside player. He's a year younger than Quinyon. So
no, he turns 23 June 27th.
Yeah, and Quinyon turns 24 in July.
Okay.
Yeah, so Quinyon's got
he doesn't need to see any play. How many years has Keely been on the team? 3?
3. This will be his 3rd year. But remember, he was a 4th-round draft pick versus a 1st-round draft pick. Obviously, the pedigree was a little bit higher. I think if Keely stayed, he might have been, a 2nd or a 1st-round draft pick. But I don't know. I don't want to gauge his career off of what he was in those first couple of years. I mean, I think every player takes a different amount of time, to get acclimated. And for whatever reason, Quinyon was more mature when he came into the league.
Some do take more time.
I mean, Quinyon was really mature. Do you agree coming in as and Cooper? Both of them. And, by the way, and Jalix Hunt, too, who's shown great maturity.
Shocked me.
I mean, all of them. So
all three of those guys' maturity with Jalix Hunt, Cooper, and with Q. I've not seen a rookie class. I'll tell you what, that Fisk kid and that Verse and Kitchens, they kind of had that same kind of crap with the Rams. They shocked me on how they fit in as well. So, I mean, I was really stunned, especially Iowa and Toledo, who those guys traditionally don't win a ton of football games.
No.
And so, I was shocked with their maturity as they played. Yes, I was shocked.
Yeah, I mean, that's I think a big part of it. So I just don't think Keely was ready yet, but I do think, I mean, you look at the dude. So, like, even Gary Cobb, we had Gary Cobb on Birds 365 this morning, and he's like, the one dude of all the prospects, of all the projected players right now that looks the part.
StreamYards is trying to take us down, but we're not going down here. So I think we're hanging in there with it here. So Gary Cobb must have been talking very highly of Keely Ringo. No, we're good, Duke. So he was talking highly of Keely Ringo?
Yeah, why do I keep freezing out? I don't know what's going on, man. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, he was talking highly of Keely. He said he's the one dude who looks like he's going to play the part and play it well.
Cooper DeJean, at the end of the day, where do you see him being a superstar in this league? Slot, safety, or corner?
Could he break barriers and potentially be a multifaceted defensive back, or is that complete pie in the sky and it doesn't?
No, I want to tell you what you made me think about the other night, especially when Vic said it. Do you think because of all the transition that we're seeing now in the NFL with free agency movement, that it's going to be more apt to try to find guys because free agency is going to lead to guys leaving, going other places, chasing big bags of money, that you're going to want to have a guy where you could be able to play. He may not be, and again, follow me when I say this. Q might be a guy like a Milton Williams. And I'll say this to you. Milton Williams is never going to be a superstar player, and I think Q is going to have a higher upside, and he is going to be a star. But for him to be able to play, or like Zach, to be able to go, they're talking about playing him at the edge and rushing him. I think you're going to start to see that league-wide. I think Howie is going to start something league-wide where, Xander, I'm going to not be looking for the Michael Parsons of the world. I'm going to be looking for the guys, hey, is that a Swiss Army knife that I could play? Maybe I got to play him at edge in emergency. Maybe I got to play him off linebacker. Maybe I got to play him in the nickel. Maybe I got to play – you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wonder if that's going to be more – because you're talking more hybrid guys.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of those guys on this defense too. I mean, you got Jalix, you got Jahad Campbell. I think even Zach Bond is a little bit of that. Yeah. Cooper DeJean in the secondary. You could argue they're thinking about maybe even thinking about Drew Makuba in that way if they think about him in the slot. Mac McWilliams lined up inside and outside. So I think they've got a lot of those guys, but how much do they become, not only prominent, but can you build a defense around them? That's my question. Now they're clearly trying to do that with what they're doing here in Philly, but how much different does it have to look if it's not the conventional way to build a defense? Get a good linebacker, get a good guy on the defensive line, get a good secondary, get a good corner, get a good safety. If you get different football players, like you said, how do you build your defense around that? I think you can build it with a big upside, especially Vic Fangio, who's very versatile in the way he uses players.
Hey, guys, I'm panhandling today. Super Chats go to the top. I appreciate you guys. Please hit that like button, man. StreamYards hosts us up, freezing my boy up too, which isn't good.
Oh, all right, man. They were all over the place.
I got your topic today. I got this topic from you today.
I love it.
Okay, and make sure you guys check out Birds 365. So I expanded it a little more. So when you look at Kevin Patulo, is he going to be closer to Brian Johnson? Or is he going to be closer to Kellen Moore? When it comes to play calling,
I'd say Kellen Moore because it's an evolutionary thing. Like the offense is moving forward, and I don't see how it would go back to what, even though Brian Johnson wasn't awful. I mean, the offense was freaking top 10 that year. I know everybody doesn't. They were eighth, right? Eighth overall. I'd say more like Kellen Moore. I mean, you still have Saquon Barkley. You still got the offensive line. I think you had all the success you had last year. So I think Kellen Moore is the more obvious one, but maybe he brings in a spurt of Kevin Patulo. I don't know, Sills. Like, I will say this. At some point, every man wants to, like, put their mark on something. You know what I mean? Every man wants to, like, make it theirs. What if does he want to do that? Is he good continuing the trend, or is it kind of up to Jalen Hurts? I think that one might really be the answer.
Well, here I'm last year we had higher expectations with Kellen Moore coming in. Everyone did, and rightfully so. Kellen Moore's he's a pass guy. He's not a run guy. So give me some numbers for Hurts and what you think this year and what it's going to, because I want to get a look what it's going to look like. I mean, it's funny. The less he passes. So if he goes for 2,900 yards again,
no,
what's it going to look like?
Realistic me thinks 3,500, 3,600. Okay. Optimistic me thinks $4,000. But when I say optimistic, I also don't need $4,000. Like I don't. If they don't get that and their offense is humming and running and doing the other things well, I really don't care. That metric doesn't mean that much to me. But when you're talking about the passing game, the optimistic view of the passing game for me would be 4,000, 3,600 realism, and I think a little bit underwhelming would be 3,200, right in that ballpark. So I think somewhere in that range. Now, I know that's a big range, 3,200 to $4,000. But I think he falls right around 35, 3,600.
Don't you think that if they're behind in games, that's not where you want to be?
Well, they weren't behind very much last year.
I don't remember them behind at all, really.
Right, which is part of the reason why he did throw for 2,903. I mean, I'm sure you understand that very well. Yeah. So if you take that away, or if that lessens even 20%, I think you're going to look at a lot more passing yards. Plus, I think there's a human desire. Like, I understand that we had a great running game, and it was really awesome watching Saquon Barkley and everything that happened last year. But the reality is, there's a human element, a human desire that Hurts, AJ, Devontae all have to improve. Even Patulo and Sirianni, right? Like, they don't want to be the bottom of the league in passing, even if they're a great running team. They want to improve on it, just like we all want to improve on things in life. I mean, so I think that factors into, and I think it accounts for about a 15, 20% increase.
Hollywood, thank you so much. Sills and Xander, keep grinding, brothers. Sidebar, Sills and Xander, were you ever Beach Boy fans? I think my aunt has gone and seen the Beach Boys in Chicago back in the day. Brian Wilson, truly one of the greatest songwriters of all time. John Lennon called him the greatest songwriter of all time. So go 49.
Hogan, thank you, bro. $20, man. Yeah. I appreciate you, Hogan.
How about this for me? Thank you, Hogan. I appreciate that. Here's for me with Hurts, what I think it's going to look like. And you tell me, 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, 650 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns rushing. And right here, look, again, in case you didn't hear it, 3,500 passing, 25 TDs, 650 rushing, and 13 touchdowns. That's almost 40 TDs.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know why it's my video that's cutting out. I hear you perfectly. I don't know what's going on my end today. My bad. But yeah, no, what's your question about it though? The numbers?
Okay, no. This is what I see.
Oh, okay.
This year. 3,500 passing, 25 touchdown passes, 67% completion percentage, 650 yards rushing, and 13 touchdowns. It's almost 40 TDs.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty damn good. That's a pretty damn good season. What you just rattled off. I mean, if he does that,
right?
I mean, this
and Barkley gives you 1,700 and 12 TDs.
What do you got for AJ?
I think AJ is going to be disappointed. I think it's going to be around 68 TDs or 68 catches. I think it's going to be around 1,250, but I think it's going to be about 8 touchdowns.
Wait, what?
Again,
Where are you getting 30? Where are you getting 3,500 passing yards if AJ Brown's only got 1,250?
Oh, there's 1,250 of it. Well, I'm getting with two guys. They only throw to two guys. If you got another 1,000 yards on the other side, that's only 2,200 yards.
Yeah, but you said 3,500 passing yards. So if AJ Brown's only getting 1,250, what's Devontae getting? 1,252?
No, I've got him around 950, and I've got your tight end probably at around 500. And I got
all right, that's 2,600 yards.
Okay, well, I mean, where's Dotson in it? Okay, that's a great point. Let me think. Okay, 1,250.
Like, I'm just trying to think of the break. I told you 3,500.
You're right. You're right.
Where does it come from? I think 1,500 AJ, because that's what he did for 2 years straight here. So I think he returns to that. I think you're looking at a 1,200 for Devontae. That's 2,700. Probably 500 for Goddard, and then 300 to 400 for the rest of them.
Yeah, but why in the world do I care about getting the wide? I don't care about getting the wide receiver numbers up.
Well, I don't think it's caring about it. I think it's just circumstantial. I mean, you're going to need to use him eventually. He's on the football field.
Yeah, but you did it a year ago. Oh, wait. No, wait.
Yeah,
those guys were injured. They missed games too, right?
Yeah, AJ missed 4 games last year and still had 11.
Okay, so they missed ball games. So if we look at what they would have been if they would have had those games, they would have probably had more receiving yards. AJ would have been what? Like at around 1,400 yards again?
Probably.
And Smitty may have been around $1,000 again, right?
Yeah, I think
like 890 or something, right?
I want them to get Smitty a little bit more involved. But yeah, I think 1,500 AJ, 1,200 Devontae, and then fill out the rest. Goddard 500, Dotson 200, 300 somewhere.
Okay, again, am I right when I say this? I'm looking at Saquon at around 1,700 yards. I mean, if I'm looking at him, and if you're going to up the number again from 2,900 and we're going up to about 3,500 passing or 3,600 passing, we're going to be looking at a position where you're looking at potentially Barkley being around 1,700. If Barkley gets 1,700, Xander, 2,000 yards, and then 1,700, I got to tell you, I don't think there's a running back in NFL history that's ever followed up a 2K year with a 1,700-yard rushing season.
That would be rarefied air for
$4,000.
Did you hear John today saying he would be Hall of Fame if he hung him up tomorrow?
Not nowhere near it.
I think John's point was largely on like the pedigree thing where it becomes.
How could he? Again, he's rushed for
on last year's run, and it ended in a Super Bowl. Plus, you have the pedigree of the player, like number 2 overall draft pick. You know, I think people change the way they view the Giants years quickly.
Yeah, but I mean, but Henry was in a shitty team in Tennessee. I mean, how do you constitute Tennessee being a shitty football team? And that guy was getting 1,800 yards and he was carrying a shitty team on his back, or McCaffrey. So if McCaffrey hangs it up, is he a Hall of Famer? McCaffrey had 2 years where he went over 100 catches.
Yeah,
and he led the league in rushing 1 year. Is he a Hall of Famer?
He could be. I don't know. I'd have to look. I don't know. Those aren't the type of questions for me.
If I'm looking
at Jason Cole.
If I'm looking at Saquon Barkley, okay, I think he's had 3 years of 1,000 yards, 4 years of 1,000 yards in 8 years. You think that's enough?
No.
So you have to take into account. Okay, so the Hall of Fame voters are going to sit there and go like this. Well, wait a minute. Fred Taylor was on a shitty Jags team, and he gained 1,300 yards, 13,000 yards. Why isn't he in? Look, I'll say it to you, and I'll give John this. That is clearly a Hall of Fame talent. There is no doubt. He is a Hall of Fame talent. He just doesn't have Hall of Fame numbers. Now, Xander, if he does this in the next 3 years, if you get to an NFC championship game, let's just say the floor, that's the minimum. They go on and win it, okay. But if he gets at least to that, and he helped the team get the 3 conference titles, they win a Super Bowl, and he gets what? 3,700 yards, and then he comes back with another 15. Inside of 4 years, I mean, you're talking about almost 5,300 yards. Yeah, you're probably going to go like this. He's Offensive Player of the Year. They've had some of the greatest years of the Eagle history. It's going to be he can make it really, really hard for them not to put him in. But I don't see him right now. Like I've heard people say that Brandon Graham is nowhere near being a Hall of Fame player. He's a great player. But when you looked at the preeminent edge rushers in his era, do you look at him and go, he was one of the preeminent edge rushers?
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
I mean, when you see
he was a preeminent Eagle. He was a preeminent Eagle, but he wasn't he wasn't a Hall of Famer, Brandon Graham. No, I don't think he was a Hall of Fame guy. I do think Saquon's got a different pedigree, though.
Well, I mean, what? Because he was the second overall pick?
Well, don't you feel like, he's a superstar?
I do.
You know, I really think that factors in too, where I know he has had an underwhelming career because of the expectation, but once you had that 2,000-yard season, it changes the way that the New York Giants years are even viewed. I agree. And then you factor in the superstar, everything that's come with it. I know this is going to sound goofy, but the Madden cover, he was the face of football this year. He was the number one selling jersey, the number one selling merchandise guy. Jalen Hurts was number 3 overall, by the way. Thanks, Sills. Jalen Hurts, number 3. But Saquon really captivated football fans everywhere. He really did. I was hanging out with my girlfriend's family, and she's got little cousins. They're 11, 12 years old. They all got Saquon Barkley phone cases. He really captivated. Every once in a while, an athlete comes along that really captivates the youth and everybody like that. He really did that in Philly this year. I think that's going to help him get in. Yeah, but man, this is a great take by Bud. But I do not see Saquon Barkley and Marshawn Lynch. I just do not. Marshawn Lynch was a warrior every fucking game. I just don't. I don't know. Look, I tell you what, I want to put him in because I like the player a lot. I do. I like him. And I do think you're right. And I do think this. There is no doubt the indictment on the Giants is big time. They did not use that guy right. I'll tell you this, Xander. I'll say it one more time. I'm very close to the Giant organization. That guy was let down by the Giants. He is maybe the most underappreciated New York Giant in history because what he did this last year. Well, I couldn't appreciate him because they didn't do anything else right. No, I didn't appreciate him enough either. Yeah, I just did not. Well, how could you? How could anybody have appreciated him? The New York Giants put the worst offensive line in football in front of them. He had Daniel Jones and, the Pizza Boy and all sorts of different players at quarterback. This is the NFL. You don't go out there, and even if you have a team filled with the greatest players on earth, the other guys that you're going up against are pretty damn good too. Almost every single time, even when you're playing the worst team in the league. You got to factor that in, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. He had an awful team around him. The minute he had a little bit of good squad around him, he exploded. So I don't know. We'll see what ends up. I think it's a great conversation. Yeah, I could see him getting in. I really do. I think it's a great conversation. I'm going to ask you something here. By the way, Xander, we're going to get to all your super chats. Yeah, by the way, I have no idea what to do because for those who don't know, they're just watching. Our thing on our side didn't click that we're live. Me and Silly are looking at the screen of when we're pre-live. So I don't even know we're live because I still see scheduled. Yeah, right. Me too. Scheduled, and then you have the chats coming in. And then over on, so I don't even know how to end this thing. So I was I don't know how to end it on your Twitter when we're done because it's not started. My Twitter's live. I'll cross that bridge when we get there. I get it. Keep up the good work, guys. We appreciate it. Z, this is for you. Z, when I'm right about Ringo, make sure to give me my props because he's riding the bench. Ringo, not elite. All right. Hey. Wait. You're talking about Philly Ringo? Yeah, I'm talking about Keely Ringo. Yo, Christopher Michael, here, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, all right? I'm going to skewer you like a piece of red meat, all right, with some vegetables, and I'm going to put you on the grill when Keely Ringo is a good player. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, I got to do this here. So let me ask you something here.
So let me get the Eagle. I want to get the Eagle. Okay. Jalix Hunt, Nolan Smith, Moro Ajomo, Jalen Carter, and Jordan Davis versus Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Dexter Lawrence. Giants have the best D-line in the East. I didn't say best unit. I didn't say best unit. I said, but they have
still connected. You still got me?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Because I don't know about what's going on over here on this end, but I agree. That Giants team, that D line is good. Like, did you see there was a clip came out of practice? They had all three of those guys rushing: Burns, Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter. I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good right there. But
I can't wait to watch that matchup.
Yeah, but like, dude, it's the New York Giants.
They got nothing else. They're weak at corner. They're weak in the safety spot. They're weak at linebacker. I mean, really, I just still see that Eagle offense. And I'll tell you what, like I said,
this is how I feel about it, though, Sills. Like, you tell me the New York Giants have the best D-line in football, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, you're probably right. All right.
I didn't say best unit. I did
you see
not
what
say
I mean, though? Like, it's like, all right, I don't disagree, but, like, I don't really care also. It's not like you told me the Detroit Lions or, the Kansas City Chiefs or the Bills or the Commanders.
What a testament to how he's built that team. I mean, fuck, man. You know what? You're so good at one side, and then your O-line stinks outside of the left tackle. You have a limited running back. You know what I would do too? Tell me if you're the Giants. I'm starting Jackson Dart week 1. Why am I starting Russell Wilson? To do what? Win 5 games?
Yeah, but I don't know, dude. I don't know if I have that same approach.
Don't you want to find out who he is now?
Yeah, but hear me out. Have we gotten into a culture that has the macro culture has influenced micro decision makers in the NFL? We're forcing quarterbacks onto the field way faster than we used to. And if you look at some of the greatest examples in the game today, right? And I'm going to even use Jalen Hurts, and you can dismiss it, but Jalen Hurts rode the bench for 12 weeks, year 1. Patrick Mahomes rode the bench for a year. Go back a little further. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, they rode the bench until they were ready to play. Like, I don't know if this whole thing of, like, get the quarterback out there immediately is the right thing for every player. I really don't think it is. Now, maybe in certain cases it'll work out. I'm not saying that nobody's going to be good year 1, but I mean, obviously look at Jaden Daniels, look at, CJ Stroud. There's good instances out elsewhere, but if he's not ready to go, I'm not rushing him onto the football field.
Man, I am. Dude, I'm not going anywhere with Russell Wilson. Jaden Daniels and CJ Stroud is where I was going.
Yeah, but if you're the Giants, Sills, you're not going anywhere anyway.
Well, let me get him get the.
Well, no, see, that's where I disagree because you can. Well, if you have the opinion that, and you could have this, and like I said, it's just a difference of opinion. It doesn't bother me if you did, but like if your opinion was that will help Jackson Dart in the long run, in the 10-year picture, then I understand. Then I understand why you think that. I happen to think that there's also a chance that if he sits, rides the bench for a year, learns from Russell Wilson, because let's be real, Russ or Jackson isn't winning this year in New York. No. Maybe that's better for the 10, 15-year career of that player versus the micro year of 2025. Now, maybe you're right. Maybe getting him out there helps him the most in the long run anyway. That's also a possibility. So, but I'm not sure. I mean, that team's not very good. I don't know if I don't remember some other quarterbacks that were rushed in. Joe Burrow, walked in there and left with a torn ACL. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? Yeah. So you don't want to, I don't know if that team's quite ready for him.
Do you agree that Caleb Williams benefited from getting knocked around a year ago in Chicago and now them solidifying the offensive line, and you found out some of the areas of the football team you need to improve to help the kid play?
Yeah, but
you got a play calling head coach. By the way, I love the fact that I disagree with John McMullen. I think Ben Johnson's going to be a heck of a play caller. And I think he's going to be a heck of a coach. You see him get
I like the way
Caleb Williams' ass he overthrew some passes, and he's in there face to face to him. Hey, did you hear the latest in Cleveland? What happened with Joe Flacco and with Shador?
No.
I guess Shador was talking shit out there to somebody, and Joe Flacco got face to face like this with him. He started saying, "Who the F you talking to, dude? Who do you think you're talking to? You talking to veteran players out there like that? You're nobody yet." And I guess I got
news for Joe Flacco. Shador Sanders going to spit him up and chew him up and spit him out. That's what I think.
I sure hope he plays. Okay, I really do. Giants should start Mahomes.
I think people are going to be wrong on Shador Sanders. I think he's going to be built for the moment. He's not going to be the most talented guy on the field, but I think he's going to be a good quarterback.
Give me a comp. Who you think he's going to look like? Kirk Cousins.
I think that'd be a high upside for him. I think maybe like a Brock Purdy type. You know, not the biggest arm, but
Cousins is better than Purdy.
I do. I'm kind of a Cousins fan, Sills. I really am. I'm kind of a Cousins guy. I know people are going to jump on me for that one, but I feel like he's never been in the right position where he would actually win. And I know there's plenty of moments where he's been a shrinking violet as well, but that dude's a steady Eddie, man. He's got a big arm. You know who I always say this to people who are like,
block for him. He's going to go for 4,500 yards.
Yeah. But I always say this, like, if you don't like Kirk Cousins, that's fine. You know who does like him? Justin freaking Jefferson.
You bet he does.
That guy loves Kirk Cousins, right? I like Kirk Cousins, but I understand he's obviously not the end-all be-all.
I brought a topic up earlier today. I'll ask you this. On Joe Burrow. If you're Joe Burrow, they don't win this year, would you want out of Cincinnati?
Yeah, but what's he got? What negotiating power? They can't even sign a rookie.
Huss, I'm not showing up. I'm not showing up to work.
And what can they say? Your $55 million isn't going in your bank account?
Okay. And then guess what we're both doing here? I want out. Carson Palmer got out of there like that.
Yeah, different game today, but it's not impossible. I mean, it's not impossible. I would love as a football fan to see him in a different city. Not in the NFC, please. Please don't bring Joe Burrow to the NFC.
I thought maybe that, follow Brady to Tampa because Mayfield's going to leave, I think, at the end of this year.
Oh, really? Why do you think that?
Well, because his contract is up. And do you really think the Bucs are going to pay him $55 million?
I think they're going to pay him 50.
Would he stay for that? Maybe. He says he wants to stay. But if he does what he did a year ago, Xander, and he goes for 4,500 yards and 41 touchdowns and has 100 quarterback rating, you think that guy, you think the Bucs are going to give him $50 million?
I mean, what's he paying? What's he getting paid now? 40?
30.
30?
30.
Is that how good of a deal he signed for them?
3 years, $100 million.
He's probably been the best valued quarterback outside of the rookies in the NFL right now. Yep. $30 million for Baker? Yep. He's putting up 4,500 yards a year right now.
Yep. That's
why I like
Baker.
I'm not a Baker hater at all. I'm not a Baker hater at all.
I was. And I can't believe the guys turned around. Couple last ones here for you. Guys, thank you.
I really liked Baker when he came out of college. I know he was a cocky dude, but I felt like I could see deep down that he was a hard-working dude. He was the type of dude that would do the work needed.
Do you know that Alonzo Highsmith was in Cleveland? He called me and said, "We're going to take Baker." And I go, "Guy's a cheerleader." He goes, "Now you got to be around him. He's a warrior type guy." Oh, by the way, Hassan Reddick showed up.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
I knew he would. I knew he would.
And I'm like, yeah, because what? He didn't want to burn $15 million. Hey, by the way, I didn't know
Jason just signed the deal. What would he be skipping out on?
I didn't know that Jason Light worked for the Eagles.
What year was Light here?
He was like with Banner. I guess Howie was the cap guy, and Jason was the personnel guy, and those guys worked with one another. I didn't know that.
So one day you're going to wake up and it's going to hit you that the Philadelphia Eagles are everywhere in the NFL. This entire league right now has connections and ties to the foundation and the culture that is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay, well, I'll ask you that question I asked you 3 years ago. Do you think the Eagles right now in the Jeffrey Lurie era have over or underachieved?
in the Jeffrey Lurie era, I think with the success of the last 10 years, you could make the argument they've overachieved. Considering where they were before him, considering like their worst moments, and I'm not going to say their worst moments, but the period of years where we never won, right, which was 1994 to 2016. Like Chip Kelly was the down, but we had a Hall of Fame coach for 14 years. Like, I know we didn't win it all, but that was like, we didn't, that was a 14-year period where we were a good team, but we never got over the hump. Chip Kelly was obviously the worst part, the down period completely. Then you had Doug Peterson, great story. Now you've had Nick Sirianni, great story. Obviously, you've had Carson Wentz, Donovan McNabb, now Jalen Hurts. You've had Howie Roseman, Joe Banner. I think overachieved. And a lot of that is the scale is tipped because of what they've done in the last really 5 years, but the last 10.
4 NFC titles and 2 Super Bowl wins.
Yep.
Do I think, I mean, what have the Rams done any more than that since 2000?
You know where the one area I think we've underachieved a little? I think we got to win the NFC East more. Like, we don't have a dominant run of really winning the NFC East since
no team does.
The early 2000s. I think we won it for like 2 or 3 years in a row in early 2000s.
You got the most wins since 2000, though, don't you?
Probably. But I think like 2002, 3, and 4 we won. I'd have to double check that. Somebody can help me out in the chat. I'm sure we have an Eagle historian in the chat who can help me. But I'd like to see us dominate. I'd like let's go repeat the NFC East this year. All right, fuck focusing on the Super Bowl just yet. Go win the East. All right, you got the Cowboys, you got the Commanders, you got Sileo's blowing up on Jackson Dart now. Go win the East. Win the East and start from there. I think they're going to be in a good spot.
All right, last one for you. I ranked my top 10 Philadelphia athletes right now in your city.
Oh, right now. Okay.
Right now. Number 1, Saquon Barkley for me.
Agreed.
Number 2, Jalen Hurts.
Agreed.
Number 3, Bryce Harper.
Okay.
Number 4, Lane. Number 5, A.J. Brown. Number 6, Kyle Schwarber. Number 7, Embiid. Number 8, Tyrese Maxey. Number 9, Jordan Mailata. Number 10, Koopa. Freak DeJean. Got him at 10.
I don't hate your list. I don't hate it. I thought Bryce Harper was a little high, but I don't know who else you would put there.
You could put AJ maybe. Right?
Probably go AJ, honestly.
Barkley, Jalen, Bryce Harper, Lane, number 5, AJ Brown, Kyle Schwarber 6, Embiid 7, Tyrese Maxey 8. I'm thinking Tyrese Maxey may be more popular than Embiid now in Philly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go. I don't like Embiid where you had Embiid. And I think Cooper's probably a little higher too. I think people are sleeping. Like Cooper DeJean is like, he's going to be a star. If he has a good year this year, he will be a superstar in Philly.
Dude, the Bell and him will be the most famous icons in Philadelphia. If that guy.
Well, it's still Saquon and Jalen, and then you'd have Cooper on the defensive side.
Yeah, I agree with one of these guys in here, man. I might even take and beat off that list and drop somebody else in there like Jalen Carter. I don't know. I mean,
Carter's obviously the best of them all when it comes to talent, or close to the top. But he's just a more reserved dude. He's not like the type of dude that would have a type of global appeal like a guy like Cooper or Saquon or even Jalen Hurts does.
Now, listen, I think we're going to do something here. We're going to try this. I'm going to do a live read, but I don't know if we should go to a commercial because I don't know. Dude, I mean, what do you think we should do here? Because
I think we can go to a commercial.
All right. So I'll do a live read. We'll come back.
Something.
All right. This is Eric. When he got.
Yeah, I think we can rip a commercial. I mean, I tell you what, I don't know how.
I don't even know we're on live. All I know is the chat's working.
The chat's working, and we're live on YouTube. All right, that's all I know. Wait, right? we didn't do the super chats, bro.
Okay, let's do them.
Kimberly says, our defense, jack of all trades, master of none.
That's okay. Win Super Bowls.
Yeah,
That's all right.
Exactly. That's what they were last year. JD3, Giants could start Mahomes and they wouldn't win 8 games.
Hey, Giants.
Christopher Michael with the shit take on Keely Ringo.
I love that, Christopher. Keep it up, big guys.
Appreciate you, Christopher. Hollywood, thank you, brother. Sills and Xander, keep grinding, brothers. Sidebar, Sills and Xander, were you ever Beach Boys fans? Rest in peace, Brian Wilson. I wish they could all be California girls. Go 49ers. 49ers suck, Hogan.
Hey, Hollywood, Pet Sounds, best album of all time. Go ahead. I got you.
All right, here we go. Kyle Kokorski. Hurt's got one job to do. Don't F up.
Absolutely. That's
Kokorski, there's nobody on the planet more Sileo-wise than you, my friend.
Kyle, guess what? The cheerleader guy, Nicky Sirianni, man. That's his gig, too. Don't F it up.
You're Sileo-wise, Kokorski. Hey. East Coast says, Sills, me and my G-Pop thinks Eagles quit in 22 on defense.
23. 23 they quit, not the 22 defense.
23. Jim Adams. Oh, there we go. All right, we got all them.
Yeah.
Thank you all, by the way. Everybody that dropped the super chat today. Twiz, Bonet, Abe, Bud Scroggin, CJ, Mike Fittery, Martin, Sunblack, flexing with $2 Thank you, Flex. And a 2. Twiz the Jigga. All you got. Kyle, as always, Dio. Thank you guys, man. Steven, Blaine, JT, and Jim, and then everybody we just read. Thank you all, man.
Absolutely. You guys saved our ass today, man, because of what StreamYard did. So we appreciate you guys big time. Thank you so much, all of you guys. Big Z, hopefully this stuff, we don't get knocked off tomorrow here, but we'll catch you tomorrow on Birds 365. Got to pay some bills here now.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
You got it, brother. All right. Hey, folks, don't forget my great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America. Every single time that you have a decision to make when it comes to your family on making sure you get insurance companies taking care of you, absolutely always remember, folks, Morgan & Morgan is there to protect you and your family. If you're ever injured, do me a favor. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate you guys. And do me a favor. You tell him Big Sil sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Save the day, you guys. Hit that like button. Thank you, guys. Supers to the end. Like, bend his friend over. Thank you so much. Hey, bend my buddy over. I want to thank you so much, man. You guys are great. Absolutely awesome. Hey. Fantastic. Thank you, Ben. I can't help myself sometimes. Thank you, Ben. That'd be really great. Really, really good stuff there. Yeah, you guys. Wait, do I still have my list? I love list. Okay. All right. I think it's wild that we're in a position now, if you're Nick Saban, that if you're him and you look back at the two careers with Tua and with Hurts, how much did Nick let Jalen Hurts down at Alabama? By not wanting to take the effort to coach him more. Because I look at Tua now and go, all right, well, I mean, great. You threw for a lot of yards, and okay, you're like a hit away from being like in a Skittles jar. Right? I mean, like, how much did Nick Saban let him? Why does Nick Saban get off the hook for not wanting to coach him? You know why? It wasn't about developing Hurts. It was about winning ball games at Alabama. Right? Nick Saban let down Jalen Hurts. Do we not agree? Jalen has great respect for Nick. I'm just saying, for me, he didn't want to coach him. So now you look back on that. Hurts is here. It was here. He's making a lot of money. But if I had to pick a quarterback in the NFL today to start my football team, Tua's not in my top 10. He's probably not in my top 15. Maybe not even my top 20. I mean, he's a hit away from, like, retirement. On top of that, I'm like, I mean, right? I mean, one guy's career is ascending. The other one is kind of stuck in mud in a way. Seals, can you see Jalen and AJ being the next McNabb and Owens? No. That's not what that offense is. McNabb is a better passer. He's a better player. Hurts plays the position better. There's a difference. McNabb's a better quarterback. Jalen plays the position better. Again, it goes to talent versus results. You know, I always have to tell you, Brady is not the most gifted player at that position. But he's the best player at that position. And that's what gets the results. Okay, I mean, Crowley, but think about it. You know, everyone's always like, well, you know, I mean, because Jalen doesn't throw shade on Nick. He throws no shade at him. But really, you know, I look back at that and I go, I don't know, man. Surely Nick Saban's got to look at it and go, did I let Jalen Hurts down by not developing him? He didn't want to. Next guy up. You can't do the job? Next guy up. See, that's the difference in college coaches and NFL coaches. when you get Carson Wentz or you get Jalen Hurts, you got to coach those guys because you have money and you have time wrapped around them dudes. You don't get a chance to go down. College coaching is easier than the NFL coaching because you pay them, you got to play them. There's the prime example. Nick said, I'm going to get a better result with Tua because he's more accurate at the time. And so Nick didn't have to develop him. I mean, you didn't have to build a team around him. You just didn't have to. And that's what gave him the ability to just go like this. Hey, I'm going to stick with Tua here. Good luck to you in Oklahoma. You imagine Nick Saban fired a Super Bowl MVP. Nowhere have I seen anywhere anybody write a column like that. I mean, Ryan Day fired an MVP type player in Joe Burrow. Burrow hasn't done that, though. Nick Saban fired a Super Bowl MVP. And, Saban, and I agree. I think Nick's the greatest college coach of all time, and that includes Coach Bryant. That includes Coach Switzer. Absolutely. I think he's in that conversation. He is, in my book, he's the best. But how many great coaches in college fire a Super Bowl MVP? I mean, I've never heard anybody bring that up. I wonder what Nick Saban thought about it. JT Philly, thank you on the way out the door. You guys were absolutely awesome today. Saved the day. Absolutely saved the day. Guys, I can't thank you enough. Again, StreamYard was down for a while. We stuck here. You guys stuck with us. If all of you could please hit that like button on the way out, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow, 2 to 6 Eastern time, and we'll see you on the flip side.